GMGAGN, everybody, every woman, every man, and every person. How are you doing on this fine Friday morning? Or at least it's a Friday morning where I'm from. We have a wonderfully exciting live stream today. We have on with us the International Cricket Council, Insomnia Labs, and the wonderful Devon, a colleague of mine from the NIA Foundation. If you have missed it, which I hope is quite unlikely because we sent a lot of tweets out about it, NIA is powering some Web3 fan engagement experiences for the Cricket World Cup this year, and it did the same last year, and hopefully for many more years to come. So whether you are a Web3 degen, a technology freak, or you just love cricket and live a normal life, then good for you. But we are going to dive into all things NIA and the International Cricket Council partnership today. So we are going to start off with a quick introduction round. My name is David. I'm the intern at the NIA Foundation. I do all things social media and beyond. We will kick it off with Finn, our wonderful ICC representative. Finn, tell us about yourself, tell us about the ICC and everything in between.
Hi guys, hi to everyone listening. The ICC, we look after cricket globally. We're like FIFA, but for cricket. Aside from governing the game, probably the most important thing for most fans is we put on World Cups. Right now we're putting on a World Cup in the USA and the Caribbean, India versus Pakistan. We played just outside Manhattan on Sunday, so that's where the attention of the cricket world at the moment is. I look after digital, which means my team looks after all of technology, social media. So, any thoughts you have on our social media strategy, you can keep them to yourselves. But it means we also get to work with really cool people like the NIA Foundation and like Insomnia to create new experiences for fans. And looking forward to chatting about some of them today.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Finn. Jack Cameron, 2 first names. That's a daring role in life. Let's give us a quick introduction about who you are, what Insomnia Labs are, and how Insomnia Labs fits into this ICC, NIA, and Web3 play.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's great to be here, and thank you guys for having me. Insomnia Labs is basically what we call like a product studio. We're around 60 devs, around the world. We've developed products from fan engagement to loyalty tooling to run-of-the-mill NFT project, all the way to supply chain authentication on chain. We were obviously super privileged to be a part of this fan engagement build-out, where we were mainly kind of developing, helping with the strategy, deploying, doing the UI UX of the entire fan passport experience. Our goals, obviously, we've worked with a lot of enterprise brands in the past, such as Coca-Cola, L'Oreal, Campari, list goes on. And so the goal here was obviously to build a fan passport experience that would have been easy for the user to use, onboard, and have fun with, really, is the TLDR. So that's a little bit about Insomnia. And once again, thank you guys for having me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jack. Devon, over to you.
Thanks, David. I'm Devon. I'm at NIA Foundation. I work on the founder success team, and at NIA Foundation, we're a Swiss-based non-for-profit organization, and we're very community-driven. And one of our core areas of focus is the NIA ecosystem and strengthening it as much as possible. So my role is a lot of founder success, project management, managing key accounts like ICC, seeing where they fit into the ecosystem, seeing where others can help them within the NIA ecosystem, and just creating really cool blockchain-based products. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, guys, for those who are streaming in and who aren't aware, I have no idea how you wouldn't be aware, but cricket is the second most popular sport in the world. And if I am correct, it was birthed in England, and the first most popular sport in the world is football, which was always birthed in England. So we had our run. so to say, and now we're passing it over. Finn, Devon, Jack, at random points throughout our wonderful live stream today, I'm going to drop you a question on cricket trivia. Whoever walks away with the most points wins. I have a sneaking suspicion as to who it might be, but we're going to start with the first one. Which team emerged victorious at the first ever Cricket World Cup in 1975? If you know the answer, shout it out.
I would assume England.
Incorrect.
India.
Finn, it's not India. Finn, do you know it?
That's one of our co-hosts, the West Indies.
That's correct. It is the West Indies. There you go. He takes it up. He's going to wipe the floor with you guys, I'm afraid. All right. Look, let's crack on, and we'll talk about the actual meat of the live stream today. So Finn, Devon, Jack, if you have anything to add, please drive in. How did the partnership between ICC and the NEAR Foundation actually come about? And Finn, maybe a good one for you to speak on. Like, what was the drive to get into Web3, right?
Yeah. So we announced the partnership like just before the World Cup last year. We'd been probably talking for the better part of a year in the lead up to that. And the reason it kind of took so long was, there's always partly a bit of a commercial negotiation, but I think there was a real intent from each side to make sure that if we're going to do this partnership, that there was going to be some meat in it. It wasn't going to be just a branding exercise, that we're actually going to create something for fans at the end of the day that was meaningful. We'd had some experience in Web3 with our NFT partnership with FanCraze, who are still our NFT partner. You'll see a really cool NFT-based fantasy game they'll launch in the next couple of days. But and so we'd had some good success there, but that's obviously only one utilization of Web3. And I was really I guess I really believed in blockchain technology, but I felt like that a lot of use cases actually weren't really something meaningful. It was sort of a product, like a technology in use of in search of a use case. And so as we sort of start talking to NEAR and start to sort of narrow down to this idea of like, how do you create a permanent record of someone's fandom? How do you reward people for their fandom? That suddenly, it was start to coalesce into something that we thought would be really great for fans. And obviously we are not a technology company. We are by no means experts in any kind of technology. And so the exciting thing about partnering with NEAR was, their knowledge of the technology, but also their knowledge of the ecosystem and their ability to find the right partners to work with us to create those experiences. And so we had a little soft launch last year with a sort of predictor game called Captain's Call. But it's been really really cool over the last 6 months or so, to work with both NEAR and Insomnia to sort of build out the vision that we had at first when we first started talking with NEAR.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Finn. Devon, anything to add?
Yeah, so I came into the partnership in January of this year, and that was handed over to me as the point of contact had moved on to a different area within the foundation. And this was a really cool challenge for me because, one, I'm American. I don't know much about cricket. So it was a big learning that way. But also figuring out, okay, when I joined the foundation a year and a half ago, I joined in a Web 2.5 capacity. So how do we onboard a lot of average people who don't know about Web3 or know about blockchain in particular? How do we get them to experience this technology in a really meaningful way that adds value to them? And so this was a really great opportunity to experiment with that. And it was it's been a pleasure to work with both ICC and Insomnia to create something of value to the fans and seeing it come to fruition now during the World Cup. So it's been a great journey. And I think it's going really well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the month goes with the Fan Passport product.
Absolutely. Well, last year, if anybody was keeping tabs, we had the wonderful Captain's Call, which was built into the ICC app. Cricket fans all around the world just had to tap a few buttons, make a few predictions as to who was going to win, and they could take home a whole bundle of prizes. It was a lot of fun. I know many people who used it, some diehard cricket fans in my life, and they really enjoyed it. But this year, we have the team passport, the fan passport. So can you tell us a little bit more about the fan passport, what it is, how it works, and why, as a diehard cricket fan, I should be using it?
That for me.
Anyone wants to take it?
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. So like, So that the idea at the heart of it is, how do you reward people for their fandom? And if you're, the challenge for us from a product perspective is, we're not like a club where we put on a lot of home games and have a lot of access to ticket inventory that we can reward people with, like upgrading seats and things like that. We put on one major event every year, and we move around to different territories. So for a fan, they might only have an ICC event every 4-6 years in their country, and so we wanted to be able to reward people for their activities on digital platforms, and then create rewards that would be able to scale to some degree. And so where we've got to for the first, this is really very much the sort of, I think, first step in the process is, if you play a fantasy game, or you play a predictor game, or you engage in our Roblox activities, you then earn runs. We're very creative in the metric we use there. And as you get more runs, you step up the tiers. So it's sort of, like a frequent flyer program. And as you step up the tiers, you get access to more rewards there. And that might be, new content, or it might be, the ability to win access to, special events, or you might be able to get to signed merchandise and things like that. But the idea is, that we wanted this to be, something that's relevant to people right across the world. Most of, in sport, the rewards tend to be for people who attend games, because they're sort of the high value, bottom of the funnel kind of customers. We wanted to create something that we could really, democratize and go out to the world. But we wanted to be able to leverage the Web3 technology, so that you're creating that permanent record. It's something that is there forever, so that in 20 years time, you can prove to your kids that you won the ICC fantasy competition 20 years ago, and wasn't that amazing at cricket fantasy.
I love that. Amazing. And Jack, what are you guys doing in regards to the fan passport? So where does Insomnia fit into this? I mean, it's pretty clear where the Near Foundation ICC lie. So what part are you guys lifting?
Yeah, no. Also, kind of like piggybacking off the previous question, I think like the fan passport in of itself is like, in my opinion, pretty unique in terms of like fan passports or loyalty programs built on chain that you might see currently in market. I think a large part of that is because it actually answers the question of like, or has an opinion about what is the best form of a fan engagement program. And I think that is, rewarding people for what they're already doing, right? If you build a loyalty program, or you build a fan engagement experience, and you're forcing people to answer quizzes and, do these pop-up things, or it's all built directly within a closed app, it tends to become kind of lackluster or fall flat. The cool thing about the fan passport is that, just like a real passport, it follows you where you go, right? And so you're able to be rewarded for pre-existing platforms like fantasy. You're being rewarded for pre-existing platforms like prediction, right? And so what it really creates is an ecosystem effect, aka why we call it a passport. Insomnia's role in that is largely a developer role and design role. We focus particularly on making sure that we built out all those integrations, right? Because in order to reward people retroactively for the performance in a fantasy game or a prediction game, we have to bridge that data from one particular app to the app that we have, right? So you can think about us as building those kind of pipelines and railways between one platform to another. And then the other part that I think is important is the experience, right? We try to make it as simple and user friendly as possible, because at times Web3 can be very, very complicated. And so we try to simplify that, making sure that the onboarding experience is simple. We integrated Mintbase, which is a wallet built on the Near ecosystem. They've been really great partners, very easy click-through experience to create a wallet, as well as an avatar creation portal where your users are able to basically make a profile of themselves, and then kind of all the bells and whistles attached to the rest of the UI UX experience. But again, it's been really cool, and I think it's a really cool use case for ecosystem on-chain, loyalty build out.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome, man. Anything that you want to add, Devin, before we move on? I will give everybody a quick notice that as soon as you've answered, Devin, if you choose to answer, we are driving in to the second question on the cricket quiz.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the way in which we were able to implement other Near ecosystem partners into this Fan Passport product offering. And I think this is a testament to the collaborative nature of ICC and their partnership with Near Foundation, and trying to make, the most of, the value exchange between us to their users, et cetera. And so, utilizing Mintbase's technology, which is some of the most advanced in the Web3 space, whether it's chain abstraction or AI, they've made the onboarding super easy for an average person who doesn't know how wallets work, etc. They've abstracted away the wallet, which I think is a really slick example of how far this technology has come, and also showcasing Near's technology with the chain abstraction narrative. And so I think this is a great example of this is just the beginning of how blockchain is going to shape everyday life, and also within the sports, media, and entertainment industry.
All right, amazing. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it flashes up. Eyes up, everybody. We have quiz time once again. Which cricketer boasts by some distance the best batting average of all time? Jack, go for it.
I have no clue.
It's not Freddie Flintoff, unfortunately. Devin, any idea? Just
None.
John Smith. Okay. No, unfortunately it's not John Smith either. Over to Finn. Finn, what do you reckon?
It's Don Bradman.
It is Don Bradman. Absolutely correct.
He might have the greatest disparity between his, average, which is the method of showcasing how many runs you score, and number two than in any other sport. I can't think of he's basically 50% better than the number two. He averaged nearly 100, and the next best is probably about 64 or something like that. It's amazing.
Yeah,
gap.
Yeah, 62 in test matches. You're right. I mean, 99.94 his average was, which is just completely insane. If there's any cricket fans out there, but brilliant. So good on you, Don. Thank you for your contribution to this beautiful, beautiful sport. So look, if I want to start using the Fan Passport right now, I want to start getting involved. I want to follow along with the Cricket World Cup. Where do I go? What do I do? And how do I do it?
I can start on that, but then maybe Jack wants to sort of take it a bit further. So you go to the ICC app, and we've just built it in as part of the workflow for joining our joining what we call the ICC family, and so it's as Devin was saying earlier, the idea really is that the fan isn't aware that they're doing anything on chain. It's just part of a normal workflow. There's a step where they create a wallet, but it's all very, a couple of clicks and it's done. So come a long way from the days when we first had to set up our wallets, and it sort of was a long, convoluted process, and you sort of felt like you were doing something that's potentially going to leak all your details onto the dark web. Now it's very consumer, facing proposition, and hopefully for users, it's no more complicated than any other sort of normal setting up of an account somewhere. It's if you just go via the ICC app and either and go through the normal sort of sign-in process to join, sign up to your account. It's all baked into part of that. But maybe Jack, you want to sort of
100%.
take it further than that.
Yeah, the official link is fanpassport.icc-cricket.com. So you can go there directly from the link. As Finn says, in the sidebar to the official ICC.com website, you should see a tab that says Fan Passport. You can click out there. Or if you're playing any of the fantasy or prediction games that are currently in market for this particular tournament, the T20 tournament based in the US, there are call to action buttons at the very bottom of the sign-in pages for those particular platforms. They'll bring you to the Fan Passport. So why not do it? Because at the end of the day, if you're already playing those fantasy and prediction games, right? The truth is, you'll get extra benefits if you sign up for the Fan Passport. So those are a couple ways to sign up. Yeah, I can see that the link is now at the bottom of the screen. But hopefully sign up and let us know how the experience is.
Amazing. And if they wanted to provide feedback, Jack, Finn, Devin, where would they do it? They can tweet at me all day if they want, but I can't guarantee that it's going to come to you guys.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, tweet, or I do believe we've actually integrated as of yesterday a feedback button directly into the Fan Passport. So you can leave your comments there and kind of chat with us about any feedback or experiences that you're having on the Fan Passport. Would love to hear your thoughts or improvements that we could possibly make.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. So I'm looking at the website right now that is scrolling across the bottom of your wonderful screen. Claim your rewards, complete challenges, earn runs. So what type of challenges are we looking at? I know you can make predictions, but what else?
Yeah, no, I can jump in here, and then and anyone else can as well. But I do think so. There's all the activity across both the two major digital experiences that are being hosted for this particular tournament, which is fantasy and prediction. So there's things like set a daily prediction, be correct on your daily prediction. But then there's also like fantasy, right? So that means set up your team, set up who you think is going to win, who's going to score the most. The list kind of goes on. There's also basic like tier 1 activities such as creating a wallet, creating an avatar. There's also like rewards that are based off of the aesthetic of the avatar. So like basically shirts, pants, list kind of goes on that you earn as you increase in tiers. And so we ask you to make those changes to your avatar customization, all of which are point earning mechanisms for the end user. Obviously, we look to hopefully integrate other kind of quests and challenges as the time goes on, but a large part of that is currently using the ecosystem of the ICC, the activities that are currently going on, and turning all of those into missions. So once you sign on, there'll be around, I think, like 20 call to action missions that you can do as of right now.
Yeah, one of the things we thought about was sort of how do you set up the sort of tiering of the rewards. And so there was a couple of things we wanted to do. We wanted to reward people who did it regularly, who are there every day predicting and playing fantasy and things like that. But we also wanted to reward people who sort of, engaged, their community. So, you get rewards for not just setting up your own team, but setting up your own league in fantasy, because we know how important that is. Like the people who set up the league, then obviously bring in their friends. And so we wanted to sort of make sure that those people who really were sort of active parts of our community and who really bring other people in, and the kind of, they're the key drivers in a social group that, that they get rewarded. And obviously, a lot of times they don't. It's sort of, they're so important to sports organizations, those kind of people, because they're also the people who will often, buy a group of tickets and get a whole bunch of mates to go to a match, or, organize people to go to the pub to watch a match. And, I think it was really important to us to sort of acknowledge their importance. And, one of the cool things is to sort of actually be able to, formalize rewarding them rather than sort of doing it in an ad hoc way. So hopefully those people are feeling the love.
Mute.
I think you're muted.
What a classic fumble. Goodness me. So I am looking at the potential rewards for participants on the ICC Fan Passport. And if you make it into the top 5, you enter the Hall of Fame and you win an all expenses paid trip to an ICC final event. I don't think it gets much better than that, but looking a little bit more down the tiers, if you are not a cricket predicting guru, although I'm sure we all think that we are when we're watching it on the telly. If you make it to the legend tier, you get exclusive event invitations, signed merchandise. But interestingly, and Devin, Jack, maybe you guys can comment on this. If you're in the top 10,000 participants, you have a chance to earn sweat tokens. It looks like you have to be on the top 500 on the leaderboard to claim that. So what was the thinking behind that? For those of you who don't know, if you're tuning in, and perhaps you're not all in Web3, or you don't have the Sweat Economy app yet, Sweat is an application that is built also on the NEAR protocol, and it essentially allows you to walk around as you normally do and get rewarded with sweat coins as well, which can then be converted to gift cards, experiences. You can donate them to charity, and all sorts of other wonderful things. I would go and check it out. But Devin, Jack, what was the thinking there?
Yeah, so this is where my job comes in. It's how to strengthen the ecosystem as much as possible holistically. So one of the beauties of Web3 is the collaborative nature, not so much the competitive nature. So when thinking about the Fan Passport and the rewards and how maybe we can plug in near ecosystem players that make sense in the capacity of cricket into the Fan Passport, why not explore that? So Sweat is also it's a walk to earn platform. It's like wildly popular worldwide, and the athletic nature of that suits ICC, so it seemed like a great synergy. And we explored the possibility of like seeing if there can be sweat tokens or sweat points earned as people go through the Fan Passport and go through the tiers. So that was a really natural synergy. And yeah, it was a team effort to get that up and running, and Sweat was super game as well. So yeah, it was a great addition to the Fan Passport for sure, from the near ecosystem perspective and also from the ICC.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that it was a wonderful move, and hopefully we'll expose a lot more cricket fans who I assume probably do walk a fair bit, except for when the cricket's on, to the world of Sweat Economy. But now it is time, I'm afraid, for the next and final cricket quiz question. Feel free to take it, shout it out if you know it. The first official international cricket match was held in 1844. All of those years ago, between which two nations? Finn, it looks like you're thinking, maybe you're not as confident on this one. I don't know. Maybe he's bluffing. Devin, Jack, any
I'll give a hint for the other guys. It's the same countries that played the first match in this year's World Cup about a week ago.
So, was it a warm-up? Was it one of the warm-ups, or was it one of the official?
That was the first official match in this tournament. One of the teams had an amazing win yesterday.
I know there was a USA upset against Pakistan, but I don't think the USA was in the first. Was it USA?
Oh,
no way.
USA versus
It wouldn't be the same.
Closest country to the USA.
Closest country? It's
Yeah.
Mexico? Canada? Canada?
Yes, Canada. There you go.
Wow.
I know my geography, you guys.
All right. Unfortunately, because Finn helped you out so much, Devin, I'm not going to award you the points. Jack, I'm not going to award you the points. Finn, I'm not awarding you the points. I am instead awarding myself 10 points. So I am the winner of the cricket quiz on today's live stream. Thank you all so much for participating. Now back to the topic at hand. So you guys have touched on this a little bit earlier about Mintbase and how they've abstracted away all of the complexity of Web3, all the pain in the backside stuff. I'm going to assume that most people in the world right now don't really know how to use Web3 or blockchain. I'm sure even more people kind of put off by those terms because of the bad PR that they've had over the years. Because of certain bad actors who may or may not have curly hair and reside in the Bahamas or once did. But will it be hard for people who've never used crypto before, they don't even know what Bitcoin is, to start using the Fan Passport today? Or is it super easy?
You want me to try to take that?
Go, Jay.
I would argue that it's super easy to create a Mint-based wallet. It's around 3 clicks. So if you think about that in comparison to Google sign-on, right, it'd be, select your email, sign on with your email, and then approve that connection, right, which is also 3 clicks. And so if you take that one-to-one, I think it's relatively simple. Obviously, people might be confused around, well, what is a wallet? Why am I creating it? Kind of list goes on, but ultimately the user flow is relatively simple. I think we've made such progress from the eras of, freaking out and hoping that you have to get a Ledger wallet and typing it in on your on your little pin to the era that we live in now, which is, it can be upwards of 3 clicks. And other than that, really, everything else is like super extracted away, and it makes it super easy for the end user.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. Finn, Devin, what's the future look like? We had Captain's Call last year. Right now, we have the Fan Passport. There's going to be another Cricket World Cup at some point. There's going to be countless more tournaments. What's it look like?
So I think like the step forward really is about sort of what it means to people. Like, last time you played Captain's Call and you got some points, and that's nice. And I think, we sent out some prizes, but, tonight we're hosting an event in Manhattan called the ICC Quiz Night, where we get a couple of legends along, and, they get to tell some stories that they may not tell on broadcast, and then, play people involved in Quiz Night, and they get some prizes. But you can't buy a ticket to that. You can only, get that through our rewards mechanisms. And there'll be a live stream of that too. Again, only available to people who are sort of, part of our rewards ecosystem. And so the challenge, I think, really for us is how do we scale that sort of thing so that we can, make those rewards, go to a broader base of the community. But it's really about sort of, it's essentially building out that community and making it something that sort of becomes a tangible part of people's lives. But it's not just a thing happening only in digital. Like it's that they get something, that hopefully is like, they get a chance to do something or experience something that will live with them for a long time, and is a really meaningful reward for the activities they've undertaken. And so I think it's a challenge to us to sort of how do we keep building that out, and both giving people greater experiences wherever they are in the world, but also building out that rewards process. I'd really love to sort of start moving into all areas of people's cricket fandom. Maybe even one day talking about the I can't remember, Take the Sweat app that rewards people for activity. Maybe we get to a point where people are being rewarded for playing cricket or for training or things like that. I think the more that we can start blurring those lines between the digital world and the real world, and then things really become part of people's lives. It's sort of not just a thing that's part of their digital sort of experiences. It's really part of their everyday life and their whole of life. And so I'm really excited to sort of keep working with these guys to sort of really push it into many different parts of people's lives, and sort of keep cricket really present in people's lives and rewarding them for being involved with cricket.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think just to add on that, I'm looking forward to seeing where the partnership goes. And I think it's a great partnership because ICC has such a great distribution. It's a wildly popular sport all over the world. And there's a lot of fans, and the engagement is there. And when you pair that with a highly scalable and efficient blockchain, like, we can do anything. So it's really exciting.
Brilliant. And Jack, what do you think? The future of fan engagement, where's it heading? Is it just going to get easier and easier and easier to actually give users and fans what they want with the power of Web3? Or we already perfected it?
I definitely think there's obviously room to grow, but I will say this: I think that a blockchain kind of lives and dies by its ability to build, a sustainable and growing ecosystem, right? And that translation into sports in the world of fandom is kind of one-to-one, right? The passport that we built here, the idea is to reward people for the ecosystem that is built on top of the ICC, from fantasy to prediction, kind of the list goes on, right? And so when those two worlds come together, ultimately, I think it creates really the next gen, like, ecosystem-based fan engagement, loyalty product. And so as time goes by, as long as we can break down the barriers of, where you're getting rewarded, how you're earning, how those points can, go from one platform to another, as those pieces of technology get built out, I think we'll really see what we call, fan ecosystem more than we see, like, what we even call, like, fan loyalty. So hopefully that becomes the future. We can reward people for what they're already doing. So, yeah.
Amazing. That's incredible. Just 1 second, guys, before we crack on. I've got a double shot of iced espresso here. I'm covering the logo so they don't, they don't think we're endorsing them or anything. But you know what's given me such a great shock of energy that we're going to do one final shocking bonus round that nobody expected. Devon, Jack, Finn, what is the term used when a player is bowled out by the first ball they face? When you have the mud on your face, you've lost the first ball, you're out. Devon, Jack, any idea?
Strike?
It's not a strike. It's not a strike, unfortunately, because it's not an American sport. Jack.
That was going to be my guess as well, as a silly American.
Okay. Finn, I'm turning it over to you.
It's a golden duck.
It's a golden duck. Absolutely right. You would never have got that in a million years. If you'd have got it, I'd have been absolutely shocked. But yes, for all the cricket fans around the world, it is a golden duck. So how fun was that? Finn, that was for 1 million points. You take on the prize this week. And perhaps we can even have quizzes on the ICC Fan Passport and start rewarding cricket fans all around the world for their incredible cricket knowledge as well, most of which would have known it was golden duck. To be fair, I didn't know it was golden duck either until I Googled it. Okay, guys, we have a couple of questions left before we roll this out. So moving away from the product a little bit, who's going to win, guys? Who's taking home the trophy this year? Finn, I don't even know. Are you even allowed to guess?
No, I have to say something like it's going to be a very competitive tournament, and we hope. But to be honest, so this, for people who may not be aware, so this is the first time we've had 20 teams in a World Cup, and the risk when you do that is people say, "Oh, you're going to let in teams that aren't the same quality as the the sort of established teams. So you're going to get a lot of imbalanced games. And to see yesterday, USA beat Pakistan. You know, Pakistan is been one of the strongest teams in world cricket for many years now. To see the USA, who'd never been in a World Cup before, you know, to see them win, you know, is amazing. And it really does show, like, the reason why we choose 2020 as the format that we have a World Cup with more teams is because it's a kind of format that enables upsets. You know, you can really have any team can get hot and have their day in the sun, and we really saw that with the USA yesterday. And the whole reason we're hosting a third of the games in the US for this tournament is to try and expose the sport to more people. And we know that there's a large community of Indian fans and Pakistan fans and Nepal fans. Like, there was a match in Dallas the other day that was a sellout, just absolutely packed with, you know, Nepal fans who'd come from, you know, driven for hours to get there. But, you know, our hope is obviously with the USA team doing is that, you know, it broadens it out into more general sports fans who might be interested. And, you know, we think that as a sort of sport, cricket really stacks up. You know, it's 3 hours, but there's action every moment, which I think compares really well with certain American sports where there's a lot of time when not much is happening between. And so, yeah, like, our hope is just things like that kind of pique people's interests, that they, you know, might want to have a bit more of a flavor of the game, and they just get exposed to it more. And that wouldn't happen if we don't have a World Cup here in America. And then, yeah, to see the USA performance yesterday, we actually had like this industry conference called Cricket Matters yesterday, and there was this panel going on, and you could just hear like this ripple of like sort of shock through the audience as the result kind of got closer and closer. I felt really bad for the people on stage who are probably making really kind of notable, you know, worthy points, but definitely the whole crowd was, you know, focused on the result of the USA Pakistan match, and so hopefully that you know, kickstarts the tournament. And you know, we're always happy when there's upsets, because that means, you know, people will tune into any game because they can't predict what's going to happen. But if they think they can come and use our predictor and get fan rewards. How's that?
It sounds like a long way of saying England, but Devin, Jack, feel free. Who do you think who's taking on the cup this year?
Like, always supporter of the US, but also underdogs. So I've always liked to see the underdog win. Yeah, I'm not sure who would that be in this case, though, because of what Finn was saying, like the upsets happening. So let's see. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
I'm inclined to say the US because I'm an American, but I'm also half Scottish, so I can also say Scotland, maybe. Just go for nationality as the base level.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like it. All right, ladies and gents, it's been absolutely amazing today. We've had a wonderfully fun live stream. We've had an incredibly exciting, exhilarating, close call cricket quiz where nobody knew who would take on the prize, but it was, of course, Finn at the end of the day. We have a few minutes left. It's your time to say whatever the hell you want to say. It doesn't have to be about cricket. It doesn't have to be about ICC. It doesn't have to be about NIR. It doesn't have to be about Web3. It could be about your favorite way to sleep at night, your favorite type of tea, how you drink your coffee, how your story of quitting smoking, you know, as long as it's less than 2 minutes. But feel free, take it away. If you want to let people know where they need to go to use the ICC app and get involved and leverage the power of NIR protocol, you can do that too. It's entirely up to you. Devin, we'll start with you. Then we'll move to Jack. And Finn, you can close us out.
Thanks, Demo. Yeah, so maybe I'll just talk about a little bit about NIR. If you want to learn more about NIR, go to NIR.org. We've got a lot of stuff cooking behind the scenes. Stay tuned for updates. Follow NIR's Twitter. There's a really exciting stuff going on in the chain abstraction and AI space. So stay tuned. And then, yeah, something random. My favorite tea, I would say, is Rooibos from South Africa. With some milk.
Just piggybacking off of that, I guess I'll say once again, I think everyone should come and kind of sign up for the Fan Passport experience. I think, the rewards, if you take a look at it, is pretty cool, including kind of the sweat coin highlight that we made a couple of minutes ago. I think it's like a really interesting new era of rewarding that's beyond just simply tickets or discounts. So the kind of list goes on. And as we were saying, please give us your feedback. If there's changes that you want, if you think there's parts that are missing, we're all ears. And here at Insomnia, we can make sure that those changes are implemented relatively quickly. And then the random fun fact thing, or I'll say, because a lot of the tournaments are being held here in New York, of course. If you like pizza, I would recommend going to Roberta's Pizza in Williamsburg or Bushwick if you're staying in the city. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, like the cool part of my job is to work out, where can we best use technology to help fans, and the thing I felt all along was, that this was a real problem to be solved. That I felt like no one had done it particularly well in the sports world. It's really cool to seeing it get launched. We really feel it's like just the first step in the journey. And so, I'd really encourage people to come along and try it out. As Jack said, we always value feedback. Feedback's a gift, as they say. And so, please do come and try it. And, if you're not a cricket fan, maybe hang around the app and you can get to know cricket a little bit better and join the games. And, hopefully like this is, something that, just continues to make cricket a bigger part of people's lives and helps them love the game that they're already passionate about a little bit more. Fun fact for me, I'll go my favorite tea is an Earl Grey. Just a lovely sort of traditional, very English. If you're going to have tea, I guess you should follow the English. That's another thing they gave to the world, isn't it, Dave? And on top of cricket and football.
That from the world, actually, to be honest. We just popularized it a little bit more. Even then, I don't think so. I think they drink more in China than they do in England. Although, I think my mum's on her 20th cup of tea today, and there is only one tea that matters. That's Yorkshire tea. So if you are in your local international store, go and check it out. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not getting paid yet. But if you're listening, Yorkshire Tea, I will take money for that.
They're definitely not an official
sponsor. God damn. Okay, well, maybe next time. Ladies and gentlemen, all our wonderful viewers, Devin, Finn, Jack, thank you so much. We had so much fun. Finn, congratulations once again on taking home the Cricket Quiz Prize. If you want to learn more about the Fan Passport, and if you want to download the app, you can start using it right away. Just search Men's T20 World Cup ICC in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. You can alternatively go to fanpassport.icc-cricket.com. Don't make any typos. If you make typos, it won't work. You can try Googling it instead. Thank you all so much. Let's see who wins the Cricket World Cup this year. We've all got our bets on. We've all got our hopes on. Until next time, God bless. Thank you very much.